you're focusing on organic marketing, and
Correct.
other type of marketing is paid marketing.
Right.
How do you differentiate organic marketing with paid marketing? Would it be fair to say organic marketing is equal to communicating or putting out content? Is that the only thing we are doing in organic marketing?
No.
What are some of the common challenges that you or the marketers face in organic marketing?
Having 10 paying customers is much better than having 10,000 followers that are not going to bring you any revenue.
Any good book recommendations to master marketing? Can you give one action step my audience can take to start executing or to optimize their organic marketing? Hi Deep, welcome to
Hello.
Decode Mastery Show. So in this podcast, we explore topics that are relevant to business owners and then go deep dive into that one topic, and we break down that topic into a step by step action plan. So anyone who watches this video can take action right after watching this podcast. And as you are a marketing agency owner and your expertise is into organic marketing, I thought of exploring what exactly is organic marketing, how it works, and how the marketing agency works, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. And I'll be happy to share my 2 cents that I've learned through the last 7.5 years of experience of running the Vice Idiot. And hopefully it'll help all the listeners.
I really like the name Vice Idiot Man. So can you just give a brief intro about what you do and brief about the company?
Sure. The Vice Idiot is actually, it used to be my pen name when I used to write as a hobbyist in college. And eventually, after my stint at Edelweiss, when I wanted to start a creative business, I sort of just extended the Vice Idiot, and something that was my identity became everybody's identity that was associated with us. And it typically, as an oxymoron, Vice Idiot, आपने choose किया and it has stuck, and the name has not changed because of one, it's very realistic. Kyunki we are all wise, we are all idiots. There are some areas that we are good at, some which are we're not good at, and at the same time, it also gives hope, right? Despite you being called an idiot or being called a moron or a fool, you at the same time have some strengths. So it's in that way, it's realistic. It gives hope, and the third thing, it just has great recall. Uh,
Correct.
Even if I'm meeting CMO sometime pitch के लिए, the pitch may not be going through. पर नहीं याद रहेगा यार वो idiots को बुला लो. Just because we have the name idiot there, it really helps in recall. So all of this is the Vice Idiot's identity or genesis of how the name and this came about. Uh, I believe we've been a content marketing agency, which didn't start off like that. But over the last 7.5 years, we realized that content is our strength, organic marketing is our strength. And that's how we've sort of shaped and sculpted ourselves into this. We primarily work with financial services companies and SaaS companies to help them with inbound traffic, to help generate interest. Typically, when I started the Vice Rate 2017 was our first year. तभी performance marketing ads run करने का काफी culture चल रहा था, and a lot of D2C brands, it was very simple. WooCommerce पे website बना लो, drop shipping कर लो, ads चला लो, revenue आ जाएगा. And at that point of time, we realized कि नहीं यार, ये it's a very temporary solution.
Makes
Ad का पैसा जब आप देना बंद करोगे, what happens then? Say you have a couple of bad months and you can't run ads. How is it you'll get more business? How is it that you'll sustain your business? And that's what organic marketing helps in, जहाँ पे you have some sort of content, you have some sort of credibility building exercise that happens, which creates interest, creates trust, and brings people to you instead of you having to go out there and saying कि यार मैं तो बहुत अच्छा हूँ, मुझसे मेरे साथ काम कर लो. So in content marketing, that's what we do typically. जहाँ पे we have some sort of either authority building exercise, trust building exercise, or entertainment exercise sometimes. Uh, जहाँ पे people connect with you, people look at you in a positive light, they feel they are approachable, you're knowledgeable, or you are trustworthy. तीनों में से एक. And that's why when they think of buying, eventually at one point of time, maybe 2 days later, maybe 20 years later, if you exist, they'll come to you.
Makes
So this is what organic marketing is, जहाँ पे business owners particularly have to uh, not put funds, not put marketing funds in places जहाँ पे अगर आप पैसा दे रहे हो तो कुछ रिजल्ट आ रहा है, which is performance marketing.
so. Deep, you started with content writing in your college, right? And then what inspired you to start a marketing agency?
Ha, 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 ha. So, unlike entrepreneurs that you meet with that have strategies and plans and things sorted out, I did not have anything of that sort. College mein, I used to write on two platforms, or I would create content on two platforms. One was Quora, one was Zomato. There is potentially no financial upside to creating content there. Zomato, it really helped because we eventually became food bloggers. Restaurants approached us. So barter was there. We got a lot of free food in exchange for reviews. But when uh, I quit Edelweiss, there was something that supposed to be done. I was not really happy with the corporate world, and I said, let me do something which is more creative, which is more dynamic, something that I enjoy. So there was a quotient of happiness, not a quotient of growth or money or building a career. Let's do something that makes us happy, and that's how we started the Vice Rate. We knew one that or rather when I started off, I knew that one, it makes me happy. Two, I realized that some or the other way we will find people who will pay us. And the third thing was that since we are good at what we do and we have people who are paying us as well, we'll be able to help them in some way and give them a certain return which is more than what they pay us. So this was the fundamental thing that created the Vice Idiot in the way it is. And I think looking back, this is a very simple business principle, right? You have to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise you can't sustain. You have to have people who pay you, otherwise you can't sustain. And third is you have to give incremental value. If someone is paying you $200 to do something or $500 to do something, the value to them should exceed at least, $201 or $501 bare minimum. So that is how the Vicariate came about, and that is how starting a content agency, which was never a plan, but was just initially me writing. And eventually we got so many assignments that I realized, okay, I can't do this. I got my co-founder Divyank on board in the very first month, and eventually it was his uh, operational planning that, okay, we need a team, we need to organize it in an XYZ way, and that helped us be who we are.
Super. So what I really like about you and your company was you kind of niched it down to two things. One is you decided we'll focus on organic marketing, and then second you focused on BFSI industry. So that's what, like, now it's
Yes.
become, you know, that somebody who wants to organic marketing, they'll kind of think of you.
Yeah.
You're focusing on organic marketing, and
Correct.
other type of marketing is paid marketing.
Right.
How do you differentiate organic marketing with paid marketing?
Very simply put, organic marketing is marketing where you are not investing or you're not spending to get immediate returns. Let oversimplifying it, whereas paid marketing is marketing done to get immediate results. Uh, Very simply put, running ads on Meta, on X, on perhaps now even WhatsApp and other platforms. The idea is once I put an ad out there, someone will click, go to my website, buy immediately, check out, I'll get money.
Correct.
It's a very short journey, a few hours, a few days at the most. And that's a paid approach. Even a TV ad for that matter. Okay, Britannia is coming with a biscuit or Mondelez is coming with a new brand of chocolate. I put the paid ad on a television or a broadcast network. Viewers look at it. Next time they're going to a grocery store or a supermarket, they say, okay, I've seen that ad. Let me buy that product. Let me try them. That's paid marketing. On the other side, organic marketing is much more long term. You are investing or you're spending your marketing capital there, not for immediate sales, but either for brand building, for trust building, for authority building. So it's going to take long. Today, if I say appear on a panel at an event, and I'm speaking of organic marketing, I'm speaking of how uh, business owners can benefit from that without promoting my product, without promoting any sort of uh, commercial angle of the Vice Idiot. It sort of creates an impression that these guys want to help. These guys want to do good, or they are good. Want to do good, chalo. Let's not get into that, but they are good. And that sort of becomes an organic marketing where you're investing in something, say, creating a blog, creating some educational content. It could be a reel for all we know, or a podcast like this. What you're doing here is organic marketing in some ways, where we are investing our time, energy, and efforts into creating value. And when people realize that value, the potential customers come across this, eventually they come to you because they associate you in their minds. They have some sort of positive impression of you. And using that positive impression and bridging that gap is what organic marketing is about.
Nicely put, man. Organic marketing is more of a long term game, not a short term,
It's a very long term game.
very long term game. So obviously, I know like for organic marketing, content is a very important part of the game for sure. So now let's say for in organic marketing, are there any other parts other than content part? Content.
So organic marketing, honestly, any marketing that you do will need content,
Correct.
because content, we look at it as a very technical word, but just let's substitute content with communication. Okay. So if you are marketing, you have to communicate, uh, either directly, either indirectly, whether it is a poster, whether it is a film, whether it is an image, whatever it may be, or it could be, a random recording that is circulated on WhatsApp. Whatever it is, there is some sort of communication that happens. Even if I have someone stand on a street and mime, that is non-verbal communication, but it is still communication. So while content may be a tricky word, a very technical word for new business owners and someone who's just getting started, I don't distinguish between content and communication. So any form of marketing will require content, and it will, because it will require communication. So in my opinion, you cannot market without content. How you define content changes the context, but yes, you need content to market.
Yeah, I really like the way that you put it. Content is equal to communication. So I think it kind of makes things easier for everyone, I guess. And okay, now like, would it be fair to say organic marketing is equal to communicating or putting out content? Is that the only thing we are doing in organic marketing?
No, not necessarily. Uh, what happens in any form of marketing, I will say, it's three parts. One is strategy, second is creation, third is distribution.
Oh,
Uh, s- so when we think of content, we often think of the middle layer, but there are two more things that many people miss out on, when I used to miss out on when I started. I felt, okay, I've written a very good blog and this should give the business phenomenal results. But that's not how it works, right? We need something more. And that's what distinguishes the professionals and the experts than someone who's, just doing it for the sake of it. So you have two more pillars: strategy, which goes into your ideal consumer persona. Who are you selling to? Why are you selling to them? What are their pain points? How is it that you are going to communicate your pain points? And if there are, say, 8 billion people in the world, not all of them are going to buy from you. Let's be realistic. If there are 20,000 people or 2 million people or 20 million people that are going to buy from you, what is that class? What is the problem? How do you reach them? Okay. So how do you reach them is distribution. And who are you going to target? Those 20 million people, for example, is your strategy. And between them, what you communicate to them is the content piece. So in my opinion, creating content, organically or otherwise, is the most simple part. The first and the last part, uh, I'll give you an example. The blog that I just spoke about. Okay, brilliant blog, brilliant blog. It doesn't matter who's written it. You posted it on the website. Then you realize, okay, just posting it there doesn't matter. You go to one step ahead. You think of SEO. Okay, the writing by itself does not have SEO. You add one layer of search engine optimization that becomes strategy. Now you can break down that blog into three minor blogs, into six different LinkedIn carousel posts, into say five, six more short scripts for reels or YouTube shorts. And then you have some subreddits where you can use the content and put it out there. Doing that will ensure that you are reaching more people. That's distribution. Your ideal clients, your ideal consumer persona. So that is what content, I would think that is what organic marketing has. It has content which may be around 40%, but baki 30 and 30% more is what actually enables the content to perform better. And collectively, all three, give you the results that you want.
Nicely put. Okay, strategy, content, and then distribution.
Yes.
Super. Okay. Now, so like, let's break down all the three again further. Now, let's take mine as an example. Okay. For example,
Okay.
let's assume that I'm becoming your client,
Hmm.
and now that what I do is I help service-based businesses with setting up systems and processes in their company. So
Correct.
the whole objective behind setting up systems is the owner of the company spends less time in operations and more time
Correct.
on sales and marketing, which helps eventually grow their company. Now,
Right.
now that I'm becoming your client, first thing is how will you onboard me as a client, and what are the details you would collect from me?
Okay. Got it. Uh, So I think irrespective of industry, we normally work with financial services companies, but irrespective of industry, what we need to start off with is understanding, just as you understand what your client's problems are,
Yeah.
I do the same thing for marketing, right? Where is it that you're getting stuck? Firstly, are you getting stuck? We often understand and realize in the first call, which we call the discovery call, is that clients don't have a marketing problem. They have a sales problem. And when so they have enough content or they have channels to distribute content, whatever. Or it may be possible that their target audience may not necessarily consume that kind of content also. So we first understand, do they need us? Is the problem genuine enough to be solved? And do we, as a content marketing agency, have the capability to solve the problem? I come across certain companies. I was checking with an electronics manufacturer uh, a few days ago, and I realized that they actually need more of outdoor advertisement than anything else because that's what they want to do right now. They don't want anything else. At that moment, I realized, okay, we as an organization are not the right fit for them. So that's the first step. Second step is understanding, do our values and marketing maturity match? Values of sustainable growth, long term growth, not being excessively greedy in the short term, respecting each other. These are basic things that we look for. Because if we have someone saying, "Okay, okay, we're doing, say, four pillar contents a month, and then repurposing them into 20 different shorter content pieces, and on day 15, they come to us and say, "Oh, deep sales not happening. What the hell am I paying you for?" It's not an organization that we want to work with. You have to understand that if that maturity, if that wavelength doesn't match, nothing good is going to come out of it, right? Even if I create the best content, if I have the best strategy or the best distribution system, nothing good is going to come out of it because they don't have the patience. So that is what we test for. A third thing is in terms of information that we ask from them, we ask them not just about the problems, we also ask them about going well for them so that we know what to double down on. We understand what their current marketing structure is, how their marketing team is being operating, what are the tools, channels, strategies that they've been using, what is it that they like and don't like, what is it that customers like and don't like. All of this collectively helps us. We go through other technical tools also. You may go through an ahref or rank math to know where do they currently stand, what keywords are they ranking for, And we also understand what is the potential for lost traffic, or what is the potential for growth in the coming few months. If they're doing email marketing, what is the open rate? And why is it that the open rate is so low? And sometimes if we say the open rate is 50% and click-through rate is just 2%, where is it that they're going wrong? And what we are brought in often to support other marketing campaigns. For example, if they are doing a paid campaign, they have a landing page or they may have ad copy that's going on. If you do just doing the landing page there, you understand, okay, you're getting a lot of clicks on the ad, but there's still not, people are not checking out what is going there, what is going wrong there. So these are the questions that we ask. Uh, it often, the conversation takes us to strategy also sometimes,
Yeah.
business strategy, I mean, not marketing strategy. And at that point of time, we have to then draw a line. Sometimes we go and sometimes we don't. So all of these questions become very intense. It becomes like a workshop initially. Yeah, what is it that you really want? And one thing that Divyang and I spoke about many years ago, I think before Corona, is ultimately doing purpose driven marketing, right? When you're doing content marketing, you're doing it with some internal values. Maybe you want to do the right thing and you want to do right by your customers. Maybe you want to give them the best of the world. Maybe you're doing it to protect the environment. Whatever your end goal is, deep down, what is it that you most desire? Why is it that you're doing it? We connect everything to that purpose. So finding that purpose is very important. It takes a little time, but since from a very first conversation, our our approach is to find your purpose, because once we find your purpose, it becomes very difficult, very easy, sorry, to do all the other bits. So that is the information that we expect from a intangible perspective. From a tangible perspective, we'll go through everything that you've done. Majority,
Got
we'll go through your social handles, websites, few key campaigns that you've done on email, the company profiles, brochures, other materials that you send out. What is the sales material that is going out in terms of training? We often go through that as well and see how we can refine that to improve sales results. So effectively, it becomes like a week or a 2 week long exercise where a content marketer will evaluate everything that you've done, see what's going well, and suggest what you can do better.
Okay, so again, let's take a hypothetical example. Let
Sure.
let's say somebody becomes a, let's say, let me take mine as an example. So let's, you know what I
Okay.
do, and let's hypothetically take, I have zero marketing material, nothing. I
Hmm.
just
Okay.
let's assume that I had worked with few clients before, and all of them came
Hmm.
through referrals. Now I want to set up a
Okay.
complete marketing strategy. Now we had a
Right.
discovery call. There is a synergy. We decide to work together. So I'm assuming the
Right.
first step would be the strategy, and
Yes.
then preparation of marketing materials.
Correct.
So let's go deep dive into the marketing materials first and then the strategy. So
Got
somebody
it.
who has, let's assume, zero marketing materials, what are the
Hmm.
marketing materials you recommend that person or company needs to prepare?
Uh, well, actually, we have a marketing checklist that we've been using for many years, and even giving it to business owners for free. Perhaps we can share it and put it as a link for everybody else to use as well. So we start with the most basic thing, which is an introductory email and a corporate profile. If someone speaks with me, I have to send them an email or perhaps a WhatsApp message if they're more comfortable there. A short message with a company profile, which gives a summary of what I do, what I don't. Okay. Once we move ahead from there, then you may feel that for people who may not want to speak with me but still check me out, they will search for me online, right?
Hmm.
So there we will need some sort of web presence on the internet. Okay. And the basic thing to start there is Google Business, because when you have Google Business, it helps in discovery. Third step will be website. A lot of people have websites, but they don't have Google Business, which is Google My Business, which I believe is a very wrong approach to take, because Google My Business is easier. It really helps you get discovered. Websites takes time. So that's what happens. When we move ahead from there, then you may have something that your clients ask for repeatedly. It could be some sort of FAQs. It could be some sort of training material. It could be some sort of uh, explanation of your services in detail. The company profile will be relatively summarized, or sometimes if we are looking at an on-page SEO service, okay, you may want some material which is very focused on that. Now, going one step ahead, when you have this, you also need some testimonials from your customer. You start building your Google business profile, and you reach out to your old clients and you say, okay, please give me a review if you're happy with it. And when they submit a review, say 4 star, 5 star, whatever it may be, you see they're happy. At that moment, it's a good uh, time to initiate a conversation with them with a templatized message. That's okay. Have the templatized message ready, saying, okay, you're very happy. Would you happen to know someone else who can benefit from this service as well? As business owners, we often underestimate the power of referrals that our existing clients can give. They simply have to be pushed. They simply have to be trained in some ways. Okay, today I'm also starting XYZ verticals. Do you know someone in your connect? We often blame the insurance guys and the bankers for always asking us for, referrals, but they're actually doing the right thing. They are trying to get business with minimal effort. And then, of course, when you have referrals, then you can go ahead and start all your social media, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, WhatsApp business. That's important. And once you have LinkedIn or other important social handles for the organization, start building the presence for the founders as well. Because in content marketing, it's very important that the founder is perceived as a authority figure. So we start doing that. Once that is done, there are very specific industry specific uh, collaterals which are needed. If I have to speak about say financial services, okay. So once the meeting has happened, you have a thank you email that goes out, and then you have a proposal or plan of action that is shared. We need a templatized version for that. Once they say yes to the proposal, we need a welcome or onboarding letter. Then, if they're doing transactions, a transaction confirmation email, periodic reports. If there are important announcements from the regulator or some notification, that has to be there. In case you are sending out emailers, have a basic template or a structure ready, which could be an opinion piece, it could be advisory, whatever it is. And then on a regular basis, you have your images, carousels, videos, etc., blogs, which are going. It could be promotional, it could be educational, it could be a mix of both. You could have a monthly newsletter. This is, I believe, and as I'm going ahead, it goes on to other things. It could go to core answers. Then you can eventually start running ads also. You can start writing more, publish an ebook, participate, start a podcast. Once you get a little popular, once you have an audience, go ahead for PR, get your what do we say, press releases out there, get mentioned in the media. And if you are going the very offline way, then you can have flyers for newspapers. You could have standees that are put across. You could have other things that are used for offline marketing, including merchandise. If you have telecallers, you need scripts for them. If you want to collaborate with others, you need collaboration invitations. All of this is a part of a marketing checklist, and I'll really be happy to share
Yeah,
it
yeah, would love.
because it's a very exhaustive list.
Yeah, it's a very exhaustive list actually, because I was thinking website, social media channels, and you are done. But it's not the case.
Yes, because what happens is a website and social media. Social media, you never know who will come when, right? Uh, with newsletters or with some owned database that you have, you can nurture more. You can keep sending periodic updates either to regular clients or subscribers. So yeah, that helps. Email marketing, I think, is very, very underrated, and people, it's the ROI there is quite high, very, very high.
My first podcast guest was Digital Deepak,
Okay,
where we explored all about email marketing and why email marketing is important. So it's like he says that, you know what,
great.
for all the social media channels, right? No, even if I have like a million followers. I don't own
Correct.
the followers. Facebook does or
True.
LinkedIn does. So then the way that you
Yes.
do is you kind of ask them to subscribe to your newsletter by either giving like a free lead magnet or any other free resource. And then once they subscribe to your email newsletter, then you own the leads. Then you can now
Yes.
nurture them, and then you are in control of their journey. So yeah, so email marketing is
True.
obviously very important. Okay, now that the discovery has happened, now for example, now let's say all the important marketing materials are ready. Facebook, sorry, the social media, the brochure, FAQs, and everything. Now I guess the part of the strategy comes into picture. Now what goes into setting up a marketing strategy now?
So effectively, we want to do strategy before we start creating content. For the simple reason that the strategy will determine what kind of content to do. Let me give you an example. For the Vice idiot, the
Hmm.
easiest example that I can give, we are a content marketing agency that works with financial services brands. Okay. Now, financial services brands can come in various types. So we first go by who in financial services industry are we going to work with? Are we going to work with a JP Morgan? Are we going to work with, I don't know, a government backed PSU entity like a Bank of Baroda? So we have three classifications there. First is you have a fintech startup founder, perhaps a team of 10 people, just want to start market. So what are the problems that they have? Okay, they have limited budgets. They want to distinguish themselves in a crowded space. They need things fast. They need someone who can give them ideas also. So that is one ICP that the Vice rate works with. The second ICP maybe, say if you're looking at a HDFC or a Bank of Baroda, the AVP of marketing or the VP of marketing is because we may not always have access to the chief marketing officer. One level down or two levels down at the most, we want to engage with them. What are their problems? They may have ad hoc campaigns or ad hoc projects which are shorter in nature, but they don't have in-house resources to execute it because taking in-house resources is very expensive. Second, they would want something creative that can be scaled. If they want to do a branch level activity for marketing, they need that. So you look at such problems, and the third ICP I would say will be say a venture capital fund. Again, they have a one or two member marketing team, and they need a different kind of support because there they want to attract investments and they want to also attract potential portfolio companies. So there the communication will be different and their problems are different. So these three become our ICP. And now I know that anything that the YCT creates, anything in terms of marketing that we create, must be targeted at one of these three people. It's okay if, John from Johannesburg doesn't like what I do. It's okay if what I speak doesn't make sense to him. But if these three guys understand what I say, my marketing is sorted. Because that's what marketing is. You're speaking, you're communicating to a particular group only. It doesn't matter what's happening outside of the group. So that's where strategy comes in. Okay, now we've understood who we have to speak with. The second, we know our ICP. Second part is where is it that they spend their time?
Hmm.
The startup founder is okay. Will he be part of Slack channels? If yes, I have to be part of a certain Slack channel and speak there. That gives me channel. Second, speaking of say the conglomerate scheme, these are more traditional guys. They will not perhaps be available, but if there's an industry level event happening, I can meet them there. Digitally, they will be more active on LinkedIn. So I know uh, LinkedIn is where I have to do some activity, but on their personal time, they're more likely to be active on Instagram than on Reddit. So I know if I have to speak with these guys and address their problems, I will only focus on LinkedIn, certain portion on Instagram, but not on Reddit. The third person who is venture capital, again, they may be present on Instagram, but LinkedIn for sure. So I understand, okay, this is where I put my energies. Now, the question is third, audience decided, channel decided. The third part of strategy is what do you say? Now, what you say is very simple. You list all the problems that they have, and there are three sections and types of content. We call it tofu, mofu, bofu. top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel is effectively broad content which does not have whether the vice edit writes it, whether anybody writes it, it's not going to make a difference because it's more educational in nature or entertaining in nature. So we look all of the problems and then we see how is it that they can solve them by themselves. Okay, just educating them. Something as simple if I talk about what is SEO or what is organic marketing, things like that. Or how is it that a venture capital fund can engage in organic marketing? How is it that startups under 1 year can build their content marketing strategy or the marketing checklist that I spoke about? It's a lead magnet, of course. But then again, what should you do in phase one of your marketing? What is it that you should do in phase four of your marketing in terms of marketing collaterals? That is what we do in Tofu. Middle of the funnel is more what do you say, mixed gray area. We come to bottom of the funnel. What is it that the vice it has done? If we started working with a venture capital fund and increase their audience by 400%, let me put it out there, target the venture capital audience so that they have the confidence that the vice has the credibility. They've given results in the past and they can do it again. Even if I talk of a failure of mine, of how I wanted to do something very creative, but it unfortunately did not go there. I'm humanizing the vice idiot. At the same time, I'm saying that the project was big. I did something creative. It just did not land properly. That's still tofu content. Sorry, bofu content, bottom of the funnel. So you speak of your successes. You may speak of your failures. On the other side, you speak of educational content. You speak of high level things. And that's how the content strategy is done. You know exactly what balance to keep. Certain industries may require more education. Certain industries are so small, the niche is so saturated that you may not want to do more of top of the funnel. You may just want to keep hammering your potential clients with success stories, testimonials, one after the other. Give them social proof. Just perhaps announce that you've acquired 3 new clients. That also builds your credibility. So that becomes your bottom of the funnel content. So that is how we uh, strategize. We just give a rough proportion. Nothing is set in stone, but that's how content strategy is done. And after that, you go ahead and decide, okay, if I have to do on LinkedIn and I have to do top of the funnel content, should I start speaking of problem X or problem Y? Should I start speaking, say, giving you an example of how to market when you have low funds or how to market when you don't have a team? Anything. So then you have a choice of thing and answer the public or any other thing. I think Neil Patel has good tools where you can actually see what people are talking about, their problems. Uh, I was just searching one day for somebody else, and the problem statements were like, "Can you?" So I was searching for a florist who's a friend, and what is it that they can do in content? The questions were like, "Can I send flowers from India to Australia?
Hmm.
Are flights permitted to let passengers carry flowers?" Things like that. So as a florist, this has more to do with the legal aspect of things or the logistical aspect of things. But yet, if you speak of this, you know the next time I want to gift somebody, this person is knowledgeable enough. So yes, please use resources like Answer the Public.
Oh, makes sense, man. So I really like the way that you broke down the strategy part into three sections. One is get clear with your ideal customer, and then you obviously you identify the who exactly you're talking to and what challenges are they facing, and then where do they spend a lot of their time, and then based on these two things you kind of decide what content to create, like tofu, mofu, and bofu. If you
Yes.
do these
I'll just put in one extra thing, which is we've realized recently is sometimes these honchos, these managers may not be doing the research themselves. They may be passing on the research 2 levels down the line. At that point of time, you also need to think that someone who has 3 years of experience in the industry, who's actually finding list of 10 agencies or 10 service providers, and then passing it ahead, where is it that they are going to spend time? And then be present there because ultimately they are the guys who will pull up the data and send it ahead. Sorry for
yeah,
that additional thing.
okay, so basically that these are the three things that you need to be very clear for the setting of the strategy. Now that you have set
Yes.
up the you have set the strategy, then the second part comes into picture, which is the actual content creation. Now, like, can you break down the content aspect of the marketing, organic marketing? So, like, what content to create, what content, what type of content to create, and how to create those content.
So honestly, for the first 2 months, I recommend clients to do almost everything because we don't know what exactly are uh, their end users going to respond to. So you have a little of this, little of that, some videos, some carousels, some posts, some blogs, couple of newsletters, and then we see what is the response. I was speaking to a very successful YouTuber, over 1 million subscribers on the channel. They happen to be a client, and we just saw that they're doing very well. And we asked them, how is it that they're doing so well? They said, okay, in the beginning, we created 10 videos. Okay. Different kind of videos. We saw 2 or 3 of them doing very well. We saw commonalities and what is it that's similar in these videos. And the next 10 videos we created were exactly like that. Not exactly the same, but a very similar fashion. And eventually the audience loved it because they were getting exactly what they wanted, and the channel exploded. So it did not take many videos also to, they were not posting very consistently, technicals, nothing. The focus was on what does the audience like. Let's give them that. Similarly, in marketing, it becomes very easy. If your audience is responding better to a video than a carousel post, stop doing a carousel post. Invest your energy in creating videos instead. If they like educational posts more than entertainment posts, do educational posts because that's the need. Then you see 2 or 5 educational posts doing very well and entertainment posts not doing well, create 200 educational posts. Put that out every day. So that's what we do in the first 2 months. And once that experimentation phase is over, we know what is going to work. We only do that. After 6 months or 8 months, to understand that the channel is growing, the client is growing with and at the same time, the consumer is also growing. So after 6 or 8 months, you have another sprint of such experiments. Your old hypothesis may hold true, it may not hold true. This time, the entertaining post may do better because a newer set of audience that has come in. Say you've gone from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. Earlier, you only knew the preference of the first 1,000 followers. Now you have to find out the palette of the remaining 9,000 followers also. So you do another sprint, you understand, okay, these guys are responding better to entertainment content. So okay, now I need to do a little bit more on TikTok. I may need to do a little bit of dancing or memes or funny stuff. And that's how content happens. It's not rocket science, it's just trial and error.
Makes sense. Now, from what I learned, obviously, there are like the types of content include text content, graphic content, and video content, right? Videos, basically. In
Audio
Yeah,
content.
audio content as well, correct. Audio content. Audio podcast is also very. So these are
Yes.
the four types of content, and then initially you recommend you the client to create all types of content, experiment with it, and see what works and what doesn't work. And based on your experience, is there something called as too much of content?
Yes, there is too much of content. One, there will be too much of content from the client side also.
Mhm.
Because if the team, say a marketing manager or marketing team, is creating 100 reels every month,
Mhm.
they're going to get exhausted. Budgets are going to get exhausted and they may feel it's monotonous. So there's fatigue at the creator's end. And at the same time, if I am seeing, it's just like cake, right? We love cake, we enjoy cake. I may have 2 slices, I may have 3 slices. But the moment I go to 4, my body is going to say, even my mind is going to say no. Despite loving cake so much, my mind is still going to say no. So in that case, same similar thing happens with content as well. That if you are putting 100 reels every month, what happens is your, and of course how the algorithms are also created and structured, you may end up seeing a lot more of me than anybody else. And you're there ultimately on a platform for variety. If you're just seeing me, you will also feel frustrated. That fatigue will also set in. And eventually, I don't know if it's happened to you, but it has happened to me a lot of times. If I'm scrolling and I'm seeing too much of something, I may temporarily mute or unfollow the person. So that is a big risk. And I always feel that budgets are important. Ultimately, we're doing it for a ROI oriented activity. So yeah, don't go too much. You have to balance that.
How do you balance it then? What is the ideal frequency of content then?
So it's like a curve, right? So um, initially it's gonna shoot up. It's gonna be a little flat, then it's gonna shoot up, then it will flatten. So when you see that flattening happening now, you know it's time to, you know, pause a little bit. Just ease it out. Go from the fourth gear to the second gear. Still keep creating things because the algo needs to be fed. You also need that momentum. So yeah, when you see that change in engagement metrics, that's when you understand. Similarly, when you see that change in web traffic, you come to know.
Yeah, then because most of the people say that, right? For YouTube, they say post one video a week, or for reels, I think it's one reel a day, or sometimes they say two reels a day is the optimum thing. Do you believe in these numbers?
Honestly, no. Every content creator will have their own followers, and each follower, I mean, each set of follower will have its own appetite. So I may be okay eating two bowls of rice in a day, but you may just want one. That's enough for you, right? So while they're looking at data at a holistic level, at an umbrella level, we may see some patterns. At a creator level, the pattern may not always be the same. They may be outliers. The data may be skewed in some way. So my recommendation is you may start keeping the holistic data in mind, but eventually you have to understand what works well. Even the basic things like investing, we talk about the 50-30-20 rule, or we talk of some basic principles of life. It may not always work for everybody. There will be some sort of balance or some sort of what do we say, change needed there. The same goes for marketing.
Got it. Okay. I think now the strategy is set. Now we are putting out we are creating the content. I guess then the next step obviously is the distribution part, which basically is, now that I've created the content, that content has to be before the ideal customers. That's
Yes,
exactly the distribution part of it. Now
correct.
let's go deep dive into the distribution part.
Okay.
How do you distribute? Let's start with the very basic.
So the easiest way is first, when you know the channel, you start distributing there. Okay, that's the first part of distribution. If I know people are going to spend time on LinkedIn, I distribute on LinkedIn. Then comes the variety of what is it that you will distribute. There are LinkedIn articles also, there are LinkedIn newsletters also, there are LinkedIn carousels also. Now the question is, do I need separate content for all of them? Or can I interchange or repurpose that content? So distribution, a key aspect is of distribution. Just think of it as selling biscuits or selling bottles of, plastic bottles for water. You may want to be present in as many stores as possible so that your potential customers have access to you in the easiest manner, right? That is the goal of distribution. So if you are writing a article for LinkedIn, how is it that you can use it for a post also, for a carousel also, for a video also? That is what you try to do. And sometimes distribution also happens across platforms. So as I originally pointed out, you start off by writing a long form. It's always easy to cut down than to build up. So start with the longest thing, then take parts of it and distribute it in different ways. If I'm writing a 2,500 word blog, I can create 3 or 4 core answers from that. Put that on Quora. The domain authority of Quora will help you in SEO easily. Then take something, convert it into a Twitter thread. Take something, convert it into a script. I think repurposing is one of the easiest ways to increase your footprint, increase your ROI. but most business owners, I think in that case, marketers, uh, really struggle with that. And the reason for that is in organizations typically, what happens is you have marketing teams, but then you have marketing teams for specific channels. So when I was speaking with a discount broker, and I was giving them ideas, but they just could not execute them because they did not have the authority. They were only focused on YouTube and WhatsApp as a team. So if I have to repurpose that content, say for Instagram, which is exactly the same content in different manner, they don't have the authority to do that. So distribution will require some sort of cross collaborations, communication between the marketing team, which may often work in silos because of the nature of your KRA or structure of organization structure, whatever. But yes, it's very important that you just blatantly, shamelessly use the same content if needed, even copy paste it if you don't want to paraphrase it, and put it across as many platforms as possible, because no one is going to spend time just on one platform. They will definitely spend time on two or three platforms. So that is what distribution comes in. You figure out, okay, this is my priority one, priority two, priority three. Say LinkedIn is first, email is second, Quora is third. If that is my priority, I will put in that effort. Then if my end users are not interested in blogs, don't do blogs. It's as simple for that, right? You just focus on these three. So yes, that's how distribution works. And what also happens is distribution. We look at metrics. Every uh, platform will have its own analytics tools. It will say, okay, how much, what is the engagement, how many likes, how many comments, how many shares, how many saves. At the same time, how many people are clicking and coming to your website from there. All of this really helps. Distribution does not just mean putting things out; it also means taking feedback. So yeah, that's how distribution works. All of this is honestly very, very simple, but the amount of consistency it takes, the amount of emotional effort it takes to sometimes do the simplest or the easiest things uh, is, very underrated. We don't speak of that. It's often exhausting to simply copy paste the same thing on four different platforms for many people, and that's why distribution suffers and it struggles. So my recommendation is, if you can automate it, nothing like it. If you have AI tools which can repurpose your content very fast, very good, please use them. ChatGPT, for if you give them a LinkedIn post, it will convert it into a Twitter thread. If you give them, say, a long blog, it will convert it into separate core answers. Just give them the questions and they'll use the blog material to answer it. It's a no-brainer.
Okay.
If the quality is 80% there, it's fine. But being present on two or three more platforms is much, much better than, just that loss of 20% quality. It's fine.
So would it be correct to say that when you the meaning of distribution is just publishing the content on social media platforms?
Uh, so after publishing, there's also analytics. So I'll combine them both. And yes, distribution means making content available. So if you are looking for flyers, the physical distribution will also be a part of distribution. If you're looking at standees, just negotiating, collaborating with store owners or property owners that I want to put my standee here is also distribution. So yes, just making your content available anywhere is what I will say in the gamut of distribution.
Okay, then now the challenge becomes for, I'm sure you will have many of the clients as well. Now let's say some of your clients, let's say the Twitter followers are, let's say, 100, for Instagram
Hmm.
just 200, and then for LinkedIn, let's say 500 people. No
Hmm.
matter how extraordinary your content is, the reach will be obviously very less in the initial days. Then
Yes.
how do you ensure that the content that you are creating reaches more people then?
So firstly, as you rightly pointed out, the reach will be less. But then if you look at the 500 plus 200 plus 100, they may not always be the same audience. So you may say, oh, I only have 100 followers on this platform. but actually your content is reaching 800 people. So that is where the distribution across platform comes in. Second part is, initially what you need to do as a business owner, as a marketer, is blatantly, shamelessly send out. So create a broadcast list on WhatsApp. Every time you're publishing something on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever, just put it out on the broadcast list with a link. Hi, I'm talking about XYZ. What do you think of it? Or sometimes you may have a clickbait kind of a copy there as well. People click on it. They like it, they engage with you. They don't like it, they've still clicked on it, right? It's reaching more people. You need to, everybody knows at least 2000 people. You have 2000 contacts on your phone. You just reach out to them through WhatsApp, through the mediums that you are connected on, and eventually these guys bring more people. A lot of video content creators do one thing. They look at what the best guys in the industry are doing, and they just hop on that trend. That also in the short term gives you a lot of reach, because everybody is going to follow the trend. Everybody is liking the trend, at least for the first 48 or 20, 72 hours. The algorithm will push your content to more people. So that is one of the easiest way to grow initially. But my personal belief, something I'd read in 2010 or 2012, is that it doesn't matter whether you have 100 followers. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers on a thing. That's a vanity metric
Yeah,
in marketing. It's just a feel good factor. Oh, wow, 10,000 people will listen every time I say something. What matters is how many of them are going to be paying customers. Having 10 paying customers is much better than having 10,000 followers that are not going to bring you any revenue. So eventually, even for SEO for that matter, people always think that, I have a million followers or I have 100,000 people coming to my website. That's so good. But yes, if these guys are students who are just doing research and you're talking about some topic which is relevant to them, they will come, they will lap up all your content and they'll move ahead with a smile on their face. If you are actually creating content instead of, because the, I don't know if I should say this, but chalo, let me put it in a very subtle way. There is a lot of content which is deemed socially inappropriate, and you may not consume it in public, but you public consume it in private. And such content will get lots of followers. Okay? You'll get lots of followers and you'll get lots of views. Ultimately, would you want to do something like that? So followers does not equate value.
correct.
What equates value is paying customers, right? So a lot of TikTokers are also under scan. They're getting cancelled because of such tactics. But the point is that growing fast or getting too many followers as a belief system, I have a problem with it, because it's ultimately better to get paying customers.
I agree with your point. Followers are vanity metrics, and then the next is the actual paying customers are the sanity metrics.
Yes,
I
yes, sanity metric. Yes, absolutely. That's a good word. Uh, what you can do, or rather, what business owners can do, is simply, people need to be told what to do, right? Irrespective of how intelligent a person is, you just tell them do this, and it's very likely that they will do this. Something as well as tell people, could you please share your password? I need it for couple of days. Okay, my Netflix or whatever. In some cases, even banking password, if you are very close, and they'll give it to you. You just have to say. So when you have a post in the initial stage, you say, share it with three people that may find this useful, or share it with three people who are in this line of business. The mind focuses there, and they end up sharing it at least to two people or three people or five people. So that is how, one another way that you can move from the vanity metric to the sanity metric, where you are accumulating followers and you are building a community which is actually your target audience.
got it. Yeah. No, I agree with your followers point. Now again, like I'll come back to the question that I asked before, right? Let's say if I just have 500 people on LinkedIn, 200 people on Insta, and 200 people on Twitter. I've created
Hmm.
like a, let's say, an extraordinary video. It's the
Okay.
it's the best video that someone can create on this topic. Now, can you break down the tactics? Now, let's go into tactics. My single objective is to make sure that this video reaches 10,000 of my ideal customers. That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the that's the outcome that I want to achieve. What are the
Got it.
tactics that you recommend that I do?
Honestly, I don't subscribe to that philosophy.
Okay.
I uh, what I normally recommend to our clients, what we do as a vice head also, is you create that material
Mhm.
and you send it to a few key people. Okay, of course you've posted it. You send it to a few key people and you tell them that, as I said before, you send it ahead to people that you find it nice. And that chain reaction, you don't know where it goes when it ends. But that's how more people end up consuming, more relevant people end up consuming your content. If you are looking at a large jump, say you are at X and you want to go at 20X to 2000X of views, collaborations become very important. Say, if you are confident that this is the best or the most well thought or well researched video, you collaborate with someone else in the industry who has that kind of maturity, who has that kind of credibility, and you share them. I'm doing this video. I would want you to be a part of it. I'm bringing my technical expertise. I'm bringing my ideas. I want your reach. And that co-branded video will propel you, both will help you both. They may not be giving in much inputs, except perhaps, just giving them the platform and they are following for that matter. So that's a simple way that you can do. And I wouldn't call it a tactic, but yeah, that's a strategic decision that you can take.
Nice way of putting it. Okay. Okay. Now the three parts are done, right? Now the strategy is done, the content creation is done, the distribution is done. Now, obviously, we need to ensure that what we are doing is on the right track or not. So that's where the
Correct.
analytics comes into picture. So, as a marketing agency owner, what are some of the numbers that you track on a daily basis or a regular basis, and what tools do you use to track these numbers?
So first, every platform, as I said, has its own analytics tool. Uh, what we know, the metrics, KPIs, key performance indicators, differ from client to client. Someone may just want awareness. So reach becomes the number that you track. Has this post reached 3,000 people? What are the impressions they've had? The second type of clients would say, reach se farak nahi padta. If we, I mean, it doesn't really matter how many people it reaches. It may reach 3,000 people, but are people liking it?
Hmm.
That's when you come to engagement, your likes, comments. That's the second number which is tracked. Third is how likely are people to share this content. That's where the share will come in. And this will again change from client to client. There are a few clients that are focused only on follower count. They may not care if there is no engagement, but I want 10,000 followers. I want a million followers. All of this are tools which are available on the platform. You don't need to go anybody else. You don't need to pay anything. Even for your SEO, you have your Google Analytics, you have Google Search Console, etc. Use that; it'll give you data. If you want to go a couple of steps ahead, go for Rank Math or Ahref for SEO. And I'm sorry, I forgot the second half of the question. What is it that you track and what tools are used? Right, these are the two things. Yes, so these are the things we track, and for emails, again, your open rate and your click through rate. If you're going through a MailChimp, they'll give you the statistics of the campaign immediately. So it's very basic. It's very basic. Now you have to understand that in certain cases, what if you're directing everything to your website, what channel is is it that's bringing you more traffic? So technical words, we have something known as a UTM link. For my LinkedIn post, I have a link to my website, but a unique tracker. So when someone clicks on that post, that link, and goes to the website, I know, okay, this is the specific post that has brought them in. If I have 4 or 5 such UTM posts in a month on a particular platform, I know, okay, this seems to be working better than others. Similarly, on websites, you don't track traffic. There are other basic, again, common sense things. What pages are bringing you the most leads? What pages are bringing you the leads that convert the most? So that is another metric that you need to track. Um, because ultimately it has to be sales oriented, right? So again, if you're looking at my business, Google My Business, how many people are searching for you every month? How many people are clicking to find your office? How many people are clicking to speak with you, whether on call or email, whatever? So those metrics are important for my business. So yes, I think it's very easy. I would say easy, but it's very simple to do that. You don't need extra tools. You may have certain tools or softwares sort of consolidate this, show dashboards. But if you're just starting marketing, don't do that. It does not take much time to go to an individual platform and get the report.
Any
So
good
my
tools for that?
recommendation is
Any tools for the consolidated reports?
none that I would recommend.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So now that you're tracking all these numbers and everything, right? I'm sure you'll have to now communicate to your clients the results and the next actions.
Yes.
So how frequently do you communicate with your clients?
So in terms of results, monthly reporting is what we look at. So again, we are a content marketing agency that goes on the organic route.
Hmm.
If you are a performance marketer, you may need daily reports because you need to know I spent $10,000 today and I got $20,000 in return on the same day. So it's important for performance marketers, but for organic guys, once a month is good enough. At the most, matlab, at worst case scenario, bi-weekly. Don't go beyond that.
Got it. Okay. Now, obviously, the entire concept of organic marketing is you are doing everything for free. So there is no cost involved, right? So according to let's see if I someone wants to execute, go all in with organic marketing. What are the tools or what are the equipment or something that he needs to invest in? I'm sure he can start with zero, but if he wants to be someone who's like more than good, then what are some
Hmm.
of the tools or some of the equipment that he needs to invest in?
So again, based on your ICP, based on the channel that you're going for, say if I'm going for YouTube, then I need to invest in some sort of production setup. So ring light, your cameras, your backdrops, editing tools. If you're going for LinkedIn, you would need to perhaps invest in some design tool for the posts. If you're going for Reddit, you may not need that. If you're going for blogs, not investing in design tool, but investing in Grammarly instead. Or there are certain, if you're looking for AI generated content, especially for blogs, you can go for Market Muse. You can go for other tools. Again, sorry, I don't want to promote any platforms, but what I would recommend something that is commonly used like a Canva. Okay, you have a free version, you also have a paid version. If you have uh, a desire to be more design oriented, go for the paid version. Any tool, your Adobe, uh, or any other design tool, but just figure out what is it that you want to do. Invest in those tools accordingly. If you're writing more, Grammarly. If you're designing more, then Canva for beginners. Uh, if you're more, if you're professional, then go for the Adobe suite. For audio, if you're recording more, then you'll need a microphone. Choose a microphone that's better for you. No recommendations there. Ring light, things like that. And then what happens is you may want to invest, and this is something I will suggest, irrespective of the platform, invest in a good AI tool because it really, really enables speed. Speed brings momentum. Momentum helps in consistency, and consistency brings results. So there are going to be days where you hate what you do. There are going to be days where you don't feel like doing things. On those days, having access to a paid AI tool will really help you sort out many things so that you only have to focus on two problems and the remaining 100 problems they take care of. So my recommendation is that, yeah, these are the tools that you can use.
Superb, superb. So just few final questions. And what are some of the common challenges that you or the marketers face in organic marketing?
The most common challenge is an internal challenge, which says one, there is so much already happening out there, right? If I do something, I will not be heard. That's the first wrong belief. And it's the biggest challenge that we need to overcome. The second thing is, I don't have anything to say. There's a second. There are people who are going to listen to you. You also have something you can say, and you can say it well. Third thing is marketing is complex. Marketing is not complex. You can pick a channel, you can pick an audience and start, right? It's just like uh, recording a podcast. You don't have a guest, no problem. Record a 7 minute, 8 minute episode by yourself. It's good enough, but start somewhere. So these are internal challenges that are a lot of um, organizations and even business owners are facing on marketing side. One of the other challenge is there are lots of tools available, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. Oh, shall I use this? Shall I use this? This tool claims, and with SaaS tools, MarTech coming up, you it's very jazzy. It's very uh, glamorous. So it gets very easy to be pulled in. Oh, I use this. I should also start using this. Perhaps it'll help me. When you're starting off, don't get bogged down by this. Do the basic things, do things by yourself. Once you have spent 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, you will know what are the things that you are good at, what are the things that you can't manage very well, and take tools for that. And another challenge, which is genuine challenges, the way algorithms are now working, they are optimized for, I think, form over function. So anything which is more palatable, which is more aesthetic, which is more user friendly, is going to be prioritized or is being prioritized over something which is more valuable. So in the example that you gave, the best video ever that you've created on the topic may not find takers just because it may not appeal to a certain audience. And if the first 10 or 15 or 100 people that the algorithm pushes to do not interact it in a certain way, it's lost. It will not push it beyond. You may not have more than 200, 300 impressions. So there the challenge is for marketers to perhaps do things that they may not like, perhaps break that video into different parts.
Got it.
You may not or you may want it to be in a written format, but you may have to convert it into a video format. So that's a challenge as well, that you have to serve. I mean, look at it as a restaurant. You have to serve what your guests like, not what you like to cook.
Nice, nice way of putting it. Okay. And final three questions. So, what are the skills that a person needs to master to execute organic marketing perfectly?
First thing, since you mentioned organic marketing, patience.
Okay.
If you are not patient with yourself and with your client, the results are very difficult to get. Second thing, you need to understand human psychology. You need to understand what is it that actually makes people tick. You can do 100 surveys and still go wrong, because people may say one thing, but they actually mean another, or they want another. They may not be aware of themselves as well. So you have to go down to the basest of human emotions, desire, greed, fears, etc., and then see what is it that makes them tick and create content accordingly. And the third thing I will say is you need to pick up any one domain and get better at it, and then build a team around it. The skill of either be good at writing, I mean, it could be copywriting or long form writing, be good at design, be good at strategy, be good at distribution, be good at SEO research. anything. Just pick one skill, and that way you can anchor yourself, and then you can either hire others or you can consult with others or whatever. So one domain skill, one skill of human psychology, irrespective of whether you're doing more organic or inorganic marketing. And third thing, patience.
Got it. Okay. And any good book recommendations to master marketing? I'm sure you read a lot of books. I
uh,
know that.
so I'm reading this book right now. I don't have it on my shelf. Uh, it is on OKRs, measure what
Measure what
matters.
matters. Yeah.
So yes, so measure what matters is something I will recommend to all business owners, because marketing, especially content creation, has a lot of subjectivity and creative aspect, and it's easy to get lost there. Measure what matters. What it does is it sort of brings everything down to a few key points that you only have to focus on these. Forget the subjectivity, be objective. What are you going to do for these things? And it really helps you stay organized, stay focused, and most importantly, if you have a larger team, it sort of builds or brings everybody to the same level or on the same page. So yes, measure what matters is what I recommend.
Oh, excellent book. And what's the best way for people to reach you?
Best way, I think LinkedIn is the best way for people to reach me. I'm active there. I log in almost 20 times a day to scroll. So yes.
Cool. And final two questions that I always ask my all my guests. One is, what is the question that I should have asked you but I did not ask you?
uh, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, let me rephrase this question. So, because I'm sure you get lot of clients and asking you multiple questions about marketing, right? Like what to do, how
Yes.
to do, what content to create. So they are generic questions. So, what is that one question you wish your clients asked you but they don't generally ask?
Do I need marketing?
Oh, that's an excellent.
Do I do I need marketing is the first question, because what often happens is, say you're running a small shop of selling nuts and bolts, hardware goods. Of course, you'd want your business to grow, but they may not be the right fit to do marketing right now. So yes.
Oh, that's an excellent question to ask. And one final question: can you give one action step my audience can take to start executing or to optimize their organic marketing?
Okay. If you are consuming content today, any day that you open your phone or your laptop to consume content is the day you should also be contributing to the content. In the sense, you should also be posting. If you are away from your phone or from other media, very good. But if you're going to Netflix and watching a movie, that means you're consuming content. That is the day. Say today is 19th of July. If 19th of July I'm consuming content, 19th of July I should also be posting content. The biggest problem is that we consume content and we don't post it, and that's when marketing suffers, because we feel that okay, we can't do it. Do it, even if it's bad, just do it. The only people who are exempted from this are people who don't consume content.
Okay, excellent action step. So that's the action step for you guys. If you are consuming content, also publish content. And I'm sure everybody do it. Everybody consumes content every day. So publish content every
Exactly.
day. So it's basically a recurring action step for you. So thank you very much, Deep, for the amazing conversation. And
Thank you,
I
Shriyamvas.
really liked how you broke down everything into like a step by step process. It made my life easier.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a fun conversation.
Thank you very much, man.